So what's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary, and I'm here with my beautiful wife. Say hi, Boo.
Hi, everyone. This is AKDI, and today we are reviewing Gentle.
Yes, this is a 2022 Hungarian film, and this is the first Hungarian film you and I have ever watched, right?
Yeah.
And, like I said, we're living in Budapest, and we've been here a long time, started doing our movie reviews here, but haven't watched any Hungarian films. I learned about this film a few months ago and put it in the back of my mind and felt like now would be a good time to, start reviewing some Hungarian films. So, because we're both on Duolingo every day. I got a 40-day streak, so I'm going hard. But I thought this might be an interesting topic. And what did you think about, your first Hungarian film experience?
I loved it because I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Because, I don't know, we watched other sort of, we watched a Serbian movie or two, I think, and stuff like that, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But yeah, I mean, and it's a festival movie, it's won an award and everything, so it's definitely worth watching, and I would, recommend people to watch this.
Yeah, so this film came out in 2022, like I said, and it's a film that I believe was directed by a Hungarian who's into bodybuilding and body morphing. I believe his name is Laszlo Chuya. I don't know how to say it. Chuya Laszlo. How would you say it?
I mean, they say the last names first, so Chuya Laszlo.
Chuya Laszlo. And he also did a documentary about bodybuilding called Beauty and the Beast, I believe.
Yeah.
But this was, I believe, his latest film that he made. And it won an award at some film festival, stuff like that. And generally, I would say it deserved to win an award. Is it the most groundbreaking film I've ever seen? No. But I would say that it's a film that does what it wants to do well, right? And this film is a story about this girl who wants to be a professional bodybuilder and, do all the poses and modeling and stuff like that. And, she's played by Esther Chonka, who plays Edina Kovac as the main bodybuilder in this film. And I believe she did a great job as the lead of this film. She made her role believable. I sympathized with her. I never once questioned her motives or her decisions. So I liked her acting in this film, and I liked the direction that Laszlo Chuya took to tell this story. But what did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sentimental movie, and it has a different topic and different sort of characters that I haven't really watched about before, and I also like the acting too. It wasn't bad, it wasn't cheesy at all, and I think most of the actors are maybe not that well known. And like you said, Edina's character, played by Esther Chonka, she was really good. She brought in that raw material.
Yeah.
It was very very pure.
Yeah. You could tell she really is about that life. This is what she does. And so it's like how the film we watched, Bodied, right? About all the battle rappers, and the people were really battle rappers in the film. That's something that you just can't replicate. And that's something that I probably will criticize another film we're going to watch later. We're going to talk about later, right? But yeah, this story in this film is kind of very simple. Like I said, Edina wants to be a professional bodybuilder. At the beginning of the movie, we see that she's at this competition, and she does very well at the competition. She ends up winning. The film also opens up with this text that says bodybuilders have to lose 75% of their body weight. So they have to completely dehydrate and not eat and stuff like that. And so Edina at the very beginning looks very weak and frail walking into the stage, but then she gets on it and she's doing the poses and shit like that. And she wins the competition and puts all the other girls to shame. But when she goes into the back, she sees that other girls are getting attention because they're taking nude photos behind closed doors and stuff like that. And her trainer also is very famous because other guys come up to him and say, "Hey, can you sign this picture for me?" And Edina sort of just has to stand there and pose like a Barbie doll next to her man, right? But what did you think about the beginning of the film?
I think the first scene of the movie was very nicely done because it completely captured like the emotional dilemma of the situation, because in the backstage she's very fragile, she's probably tired, needs to drink water and eat, and you can see like this sort of like a little frail teenage girl from Edina. And then she's like, like you said, she goes onto the stage, and then there's like this song that's like very dramatic and sentimental, and you can see how she transforms herself and pushes herself to be that like strong, lady up on stage. And then she goes back there at the beginning because of like the conversation she had with the trainer. It felt like, oh, like, is this movie going to the direction of like sexism in this business, like women not having their voices in this business and things like that? So that's what it made me think automatically. Yeah,
I didn't know where the film was going to go, other than talking about steroids. Maybe I expected this film to be more about how the use of performance enhancers transforms and morphs the body in a weird way, right? And I think a lot of people look at bodybuilders and just think that they're vain and that what they do is just all about getting attention for themselves and stuff like that. And so when I watched the beginning, I was like, okay, is this film going to like question that aspect of the stereotype we have about bodybuilders? So that's what I was expecting at first.
Yeah. At first it was giving, sort of like a more traditional theme.
Yeah, so jumping ahead in the film, Edina and her coach, they're basically boyfriend and girlfriend, and he used to be really good back in the day, but he had this injury on his elbow, I guess, that stopped him from pursuing his career. But before then, he was like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of Hungary. And we also find out later, after Edina won the competition, she calls up her dad and says, "Dad, I won." And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm about to go prepare for us slaughtering the pig. Are you coming? And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so, Dad." You know what I mean? So showing that her dad didn't really care. What did you feel like finding out about Edina's relationship with her guy, her relationship with her father, and then the relationship, they had with the sport?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have to say, like, we're gonna slaughter the pig and like all that tradition. It very much reminded me of like the Turkish tradition of kurban, or I don't know what is it in English.
Yeah, no, you can say kurban.
Yeah, where like we sacrifice animals also.
Yeah.
But other than that, like her talking to her dad, it felt like, I was just questioning. Does her dad not accept her because she is the way she is, because she's a bodybuilder? And it could be multiple reasons, like bodybuilding is not a stable job. Is it because of that? Like there are some issues in the family where Edina is not close or can't be close to her father.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like, oh, like, does she have daddy issues? Like, what is going on, So it was definitely like an intriguing part, but I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, I was thinking that part when she's talking on the phone with her dad, maybe the film was going to explore like how, fathers, want their daughters to do like traditional things, get married, have kids, stuff like that. But fathers also like when their kids, regardless of gender, do great shit in general. You know what I mean? Yeah. Aside from being like the greatest porn star in the world, I think every dad will be glad her daughter became like the number one volleyball player or the number one pole vaulter, won an Olympic gold medal or something like that.
Yeah.
But, he wasn't really happy that she did this. You know what I mean? So maybe it's also talking about, how because she's a bodybuilder, we have all those stereotypes about them. And, he didn't really see past those stereotypes either. Like, oh, you just became this roided up, vain junkie who wants veins popping out of her neck and her shoulders like a dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it felt like also, the way that they talk, maybe his father was from a rural part of Hungary. And that maybe she just didn't connect the way she did with her passion.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, if you're a scientist, you want your kid to be interested in science. But if they want to be a model, you're like, whoa, wait, that's like superficial or something. So maybe also that's what he was thinking when he couldn't respond to her success.
Yeah. And also going back to the part that he's from a rural part of Turkey, like we live in Budapest.
Hungary.
Sorry, Hungary. I'm tripping because I'm thinking about the korban, like the pig slaughter and stuff like that. But it's like, we live in Budapest and we rarely go outside of Budapest. And when we do, we've only been to like kind of big cities like Esztergom and Siófok and stuff like that. And but there's like hundreds of small little towns like where a lot of people live, and they probably live like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're missing that aspect of what it's like to be in Hungary. You know?
Yeah, and I think those like generation of parents, especially if they're living in rural areas, they want stability for their kid more than anything.
Yeah.
Like they don't want big aspirations because most of them lack that stability of finances in their lives, possibly. So they're like, oh, please, like, just be a teacher. Yeah. Don't be like a world champion. I don't know, tennis player.
Please get married, right?
Yeah, just, that type of stability.
Yeah, just be normal. Just be a girl.
Yeah.
But moving forward in the film, basically we get scenes of like Edina working out with her boyfriend / business partner, right? And they're in the gym and he's like pushing her hard, you know what I mean? Doing all sorts of reps and stuff like that. And while she's, when they're done exercising, right? They get approached by like their business partners who come and tell them that essentially, hey, we saw Edina won the competition, but we're not interested in like promoting you or sponsoring you or getting behind you and stuff like that because Edina is a bit more masculine, right? Like she's not feminine, as like the other girls who are in the competition, right? And so that makes her business partner get like really mad. He goes into like the locker room and starts slamming doors and stuff like that. And he goes off on this rant and says like, you can't be too good. You have to make stuff that everybody can copy. Don't actually flex. Just look pretty and pose. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it shows a lot of interesting things right there. But what'd you think of that scene?
Honestly, that scene reminded me of an interaction I had this year when I went for my interview for my scholarship. Yeah. I met this Turkish girl and she was a bodybuilder or a power lifter or whatever, and she looked like it too. She looked like Edina, you know?
Oh, wow.
And so I was talking to her and I was talking about gyms and stuff, asking her where she goes to, and she basically said she moved her house according to her gym. Like she moves, according to her gym, not her work or other things. And she told me that she spends almost all of her day at the gym. Wow. So it's like I was thinking of her, and probably for Edina, someone who's preparing for a world championship. It's even harder. Like she probably spends 8 hours at the gym every day. Yeah. And I was just thinking of how much like physical and mental exhaustion,
and also like the diet stuff, because like there was this scene when after she won the competition, like her trainer brought her like some lasagna and she was like, I've been looking forward to this for 3 months, and she eats like the spoonful one after one and he's like, enjoy it now because tomorrow you're back on your diet, bitch. I was like,
and
whoa.
Like, those diets, I'm sure everyone has seen like the YouTube shorts or social media like videos where people eat like 12 packs of boiled chicken and 30 boiled eggs with rice and stuff like that. No oil, no salt, and like, nothing fatty. Yeah. It's a really hard life.
It is.
Like I can't imagine myself doing that.
Yeah. That, out of all the dreams I had as a young man, I did dream about being an athlete. I think every young boy thinks about that. Basketball player, boxer, baseball player, whatever. But bodybuilder was never one of them. I think you have to be a particular type of person that wants to really dive hard into that world. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's probably like either family gets you into it or other guys you start hanging around, or maybe, you just really want to get bulked up because you want to punch your dad in the face one day. I don't know. But I can't imagine having that dream. Go ahead.
I think it definitely has like a touch of perfectionism too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't do that without aiming for perfection. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to not cave into like your cravings and things like that.
And also to take the steroids. So after, we see some of, Edina's life with her trainer and stuff like that, they go back home to their apartment and in the scene, the boss tells her, that we're running low on money, right? So we can't afford your GHB, your metformin, all the medicines and steroids she has to put in her ass every day. And on top of that, they can't afford the 2 kilograms of chicken she has to consume. So we need to do something. You get what I'm saying? And so the boss, her boyfriend, goes out and practices to try to be a stripper. He like auditions, but he's like 60 years old. He's like, his body's broken down, kind of fat too. He gets on the stage and he just shuffles around. And Edina ends up signing up to go take, erotic pictures with this photographer lady and her boyfriend at her studio. And Edina doesn't want to show her face while she's doing these jobs, but she does it to make a little bit of money, right? Mm-hmm. So what did you think about, any of those scenes?
Talking about Adam, which is boyfriend / trainer / boss, right? Adam and Edina's relationship, I think it's really hard to be in a relationship with your boss or trainee or whatever, because they're constantly controlling your life. And how do you separate that from the romantic relationship that you have? It's so hard. I can't do it. I couldn't have done it.
I was really expecting this film to go to the direction where Adam would break and snap, because I got the tendency from him that he could go and become violent. You know what I mean? I was expecting Adam to really turn up and get violent and take his aggression or frustration out on Edina. Did you expect that or not really?
A little bit. There were some scenes here at this part before he tries to go become a stripper. He goes to his ex-wife and he asks for money. And then his ex-wife basically says, I already paid for everything you wanted to accomplish when you wanted to become the world champion. And now you're asking me to pay for your girlfriend? Nah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And then then he goes on to stripping, and at there I was like, ma'am, this man really loves her and really wants her to succeed. But it was also in the lines of is he doing this really for her, or is he also trying to boost his own success as well? Is he trying to live the glory again through her, vicariously through her? So that one was I was in a conundrum there.
Yeah. As far as Adam and what he was doing for money and stuff like that, I thought, how the film story was going to evolve is Adam is going to beg everybody for money, start stripping, start sucking dick for cash, for steroids, which would be a wild story. Requiem of a buff dude's dream. I don't know, man. But I thought Adam was going to do that, and I thought Edina was going to go down a darker path than what this movie actually did. But I really like the scene when she does do that photo shoot in black, and her face is half covered, and the flashes of the camera are showing, and she's doing the poses and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's interesting because when certain parts in the film, she does the poses, and it seems so powerful and graceful, and you're rooting for Edina, and then other times it looks very sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't
know. When she's in conversation with other people, she feels very shy, very quiet, sort of little. She feels little. And then when she's doing what she knows how to do, which is showing off her body, then she looks powerful. Yeah. But I thought that part also showed the industry side of this business. Yeah. Because it is a business, and it's there is an exploitation for everything. Yeah. Even if you're a bodybuilder, there will be mostly men, but overall people who would want to take advantage of what you have. Yeah.
Now, one plot hole I think exists in this movie is the fact that in this film, everybody's got a cell phone, but they act like social media doesn't exist. And we live in this day and age now where, pimping lives on the internet. Anything you can think of has been monetized, and somebody is doing great, showing off their body, their skills, whatever they do on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Why didn't anybody think of, Esther, open up this thing called,
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. I don't know, start crushing tomatoes and watermelons with your bare feet.
Feet finder.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Is that a plot hole in this film that Edina didn't just, fucking take apples and squish them on IG and get 1 million followers?
I think that's a whole different dimension, and maybe that's not just what they were trying to go for. Because if you get into the social media of things, that's a whole another topic that you need to explore. Yeah. So maybe that's not they wanted, and also like it's not like we see like iPhones.
They do have smartphones. Like they pick up the phone and call each other in different parts of the film.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I was imagining that it could be like early 2000s, like 2005 and stuff. So where YouTube was only a few people doing it, and then it sort of became popular after 2010s.
I don't know. I just feel like, this film, it lives in the modern age, but the internet is not present. I know it's trying to tell like a bigger story, right? Because maybe they didn't use social media because, Adam and Edina viewed bodybuilding as an art, not a way to get famous, not a way to, just make money cheaply. You know what I mean? Like, that's why Adam got so mad at the gym. He's like, we're trying to do something bigger than just put a thong in your ass and have you walk out there like a model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it could be multiple, reasons.
Multiple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, basically, Edina starts bringing home money late at night to Adam, but she also finds out that there's more money to be made by essentially doing something like prostitution. We never see her have sex on screen, right? But she like meets up with these guys and she's like crushing like this Hungarian businessman between her really thick thighs and stuff like that. And like having other dudes like, she poses in front of them with her muscles and then the guy like hugs her and like jerks off at her legs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets kind of gross. There's that scene that happened in the hotel where she's just sitting on the bed with the envelope. Like this other woman comes in there to make up the bed while she's just sitting there and offers Edina a cigarette. But then also through all of these interactions, she meets this one business guy who their first interaction is Edina goes out into the woods and with a flashlight and sees a man with a mask on. And he wants to play hide and go seek with her. And Acty hates when I say hide and go seek.
Yeah, hide and seek.
Hide and seek. I felt like I've always said hide and go seek.
Okay, well, we don't usually talk about hide and seek in our daily life, so.
Okay. Anyway, so she meets this really weird, rich Hungarian guy, and they play weird games together, and then he, like, lays down in her strong lap after, he hurts himself playing one of these games, and their bond starts to grow. And, he pays her really well. What did you think about those interactions when Edina finally met rich guy and also her pseudo prostitution gigs?
One thing I wanted explored more was definitely like, okay, she's doing this like, sort of prostitution thing. Like there's no penetration, but like guys are just jerking off to her basically. But like, how is Adam not aware of any of this? I know he becomes somewhat aware at some point, but like, she's not at the gym and then she comes home late and stuff like that. It's like I was expecting a bit more exploration there. And what does he think? Because what I was thinking is that when she says like, "Is it okay if I don't show my face?" The madame says like, "Oh, then if you don't show your face, you will just get a lot of like less money." Yeah. And and she's kind of famous, because she won the Hungarian like championship.
Yeah. And she's going to internationals.
Yeah, and I'm like, isn't this gonna affect her, reputation?
But I feel like that was a plot hole in the film that Edina didn't want to show her face, and they made it seem like, oh, she didn't want to show her face because of the competition, right? And that might bring her down. But like the other girls there were doing that too in the first competition we saw. And on top of that, wouldn't it be expected that these people with statuesque bodies would do modeling, maybe pornography, maybe sex work? You know what I'm saying?
In a fair world, yes, maybe. I don't know, but the girls who were doing it in the beginning of the film were the ones who didn't get who didn't win. So they were going the other route. Yeah. And I don't know. It just felt really sad to see her like sort of numb. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, like her boyfriend / boss, Adam, is trying also, but he can't find a job. And I think we both thought of this, like, at one point, like, why don't you get a job at the supermarket?
Yeah,
or
go to spa.
Yeah, but maybe it's because of the training. Like, it takes all day.
Yeah, the training, your schedule, stuff like that. Like, you don't have time to be working at spa when you need to be in the gym 8 hours a day and eating 20 kilos of chicken nuggets.
Yeah, because even when I go to the gym, like, it takes a good time of my day.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, you and I like working out. You like work?
Yeah. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. And you've been working out more than me because I've been hella busy lately. But, here in Hungary, we go to our gym and we see people that are like kind of roided up, more guys than girls.
Yeah.
But when I was in Serbia, I used to go to the gym and everybody in there was roided up. Like, it was insane. They were walking around like monsters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I went to the gym in Turkey, I didn't see it as much. And in Hungary, I see just a little bit of it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I always wonder about those people. Like, what are you really trying to do? Like, are y'all models? Are y'all trying to, like, get in some sort of industry? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think there's a lot of difference in the culture of, like, working out and also, like, what is a healthy lifestyle. And I feel like, especially the countries in Europe, they want to keep fit. And they value, like, physical fitness.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, people go out running here and stuff like that. You don't see that in Istanbul. Like, you don't see people just running. Maybe in, like, the richer neighborhoods, yes. But not, like, where we were living in Eyüp Sultan.
Yeah.
And in Turkey, it's more like, it's not really like getting roided up or looking like a model, but it's sort of transitioning to that, to like how Europe is now, but we still love like not working out and sitting on the couch and eating.
It's interesting because, I mean, I looked it up, and the country that has like the most gyms and the most gym membership are like the Scandinavian countries. I believe it's Sweden or Finland or something like that. They take the gym very seriously. And I think also in like the Slavic countries too, in certain Eastern European countries, they take it seriously too. But I think it's like for different reasons. Like in Eastern Europe, there's still a lot of like traditional gender roles. Men are supposed to be men and like women are supposed to be women and stuff like that. Plus also you get like hypersexualization from like social media. So people are looking for a certain look. But I think in Scandinavia, it's just about, we're healthy. You know what I mean? Like it's all about health more than it is about looks and appearance. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely means something different for men and women.
Yeah.
I think, like, just from the media, it's kind of, impossible to not get influenced like that. And honestly, like, for me, that's why I started going to the gym. I was like, I want to be like her or her. But then it's been like more than a year, and now I've been going to the gym almost every week. And it's like when I don't go, I feel psychologically bad in terms of like, oh, I need to move my body, get the stress out. And now it feels more like a lifestyle rather than being like similar to an Instagram model.
Yeah, it's about just being healthy and feeling good about yourself, because on the long run, like your body needs to move. That's what we were doing for like millions of years when we were evolving on the plains of Africa and stuff like that. Like you need to get out there and move. And I feel bad that I haven't been going. So I'm probably gonna go tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then the day after that. I'm gonna get back on it, man. But I'm proud of you for going. But I think the conversation we're having now about how you feel about working out, in Edina's mind, it's like totally different, right? It's totally different.
It's work.
It's work. And that's probably something even worse to feel, Like if you don't want to work out that day, it's like saying, I don't want to work,
Yeah. And it's like also, it's not a type of work where you have like a clock or where you have a boss that would fire you because you didn't go to work today. But it's very much about personal, like, how do you say, determination.
Yeah.
Like, you set your work hours and you do the work. And if you do the work, then you're going to get a reward.
Yeah.
But until then, it's like very, it's sort of very unsettling.
Yeah. Just even thinking about it and talking about the amount of work you have to put in to get that type of body. And that's including the steroid use, because I would include that as work. Like, no other job, you have to use performance enhancers and monitor everything about your day to get that type of look and strength. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. But about what you were saying earlier about how Adam didn't know or pretended like he didn't notice that she was gone so much. I thought that highlighted in the film towards the end that he really did love her. Like he didn't, blow up on her when she came into the house at 2 or 3 a.m. He wasn't that accusatory boyfriend or anything like that. Like, where'd this money come from? He, didn't ask questions because, maybe he, really just respected her and knew that he could trust her and she's not going to do anything that's going to hurt him. I don't know. That's my take on it.
Maybe. I don't know. It could be that, or it could be also the fact that they were really, desperate for money.
Okay.
There are people that are together as a couple, and one of them stripping, or the other one is a gigolo or whatever. I
mean, strippers and drug dealers, they get along so well.
Yeah. So, and people do what they have to do.
Yeah. But moving on in the film, basically Edina works out one day and she ends up passing out, and she goes to the hospital, and the doctor gives her a test. And, basically says to her, if you keep on working out, your heart is going to just basically implode. And you definitely cannot do this anymore. You keep doing this, you will die, right? And in the hospital, some interesting things happen. She awakes from her sleep and she sees, a pelican or a stork.
Stork.
Yeah, a stork, in the hallway. It's a hallucination. And also, at the same time, her boyfriend comes there to see her, and he's talking to her and saying Edina, I hope you're okay and I love you and stuff like that. So any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was not shocking to hear that Edina's health was struggling, because we see all of the
stereotypes.
No, not stereotypes.
Oh, sorry.
Steroids.
Steroids. Oh, yeah. She's putting it in her ass.
Yeah, and but it was definitely sad, because now it brought up all these questions what is going to happen to her? Is Adam going to push her to the limit? Is she going to push herself to the limit? Which looked like it.
Yeah.
But when I saw the stork, it was definitely that one of those moments that you didn't expect to see in this movie.
Yeah.
And the first thing it reminded me of that storks, they bring babies. That's the symbolic,
So Edina's pregnant?
No, Edina is not pregnant, but maybe she imagined herself, if she ever went to the hospital, it would be to give birth. So I don't know if it was her longing for that traditional family, maybe having kids with Adam, or at this point maybe with Christian, because I think before this happened, she went on a date with Christian, and Christian got her a nice dress, a very Stepford Wives looking outfit, and they were in this botanical garden, and they danced romantically. So maybe I'm thinking she might have been fantasizing about this sort of family life.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what it symbolized.
That's an interesting take on the stork, because maybe she imagined being in the hospital and having a baby, right? Or storks bring joy. You Googled it right now, and that's what storks often symbolize as well. And so the joy she could have had is outside the door if she leaves this lifestyle. So that's maybe what she's dreaming about. I liked that the stork was there, and it made the film have a little bit of magical realism to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which I think that's the right amount. If you're going to have a leprechaun pop up in a movie, make it pop up once and then disappear.
Yeah,
don't let the film...
Make it symbolic.
Make it symbolic, make it meaningful, make it brief, make it powerful.
Yeah,
I like that part. Once again,
and the stork had a name. We saw it in the credits at the end.
Yeah, in the credits, the stork had a name. I think it's Cornell the stork.
Yeah, and that's so cute.
Yeah, the Hollywood effect. Everybody has to get credits at the end, or else you're gonna get your ass sued.
And probably they couldn't just find a random stork; they had to rent it.
I know, right? The special stork that can do all right, action. And it started lifts his legs and his wings. I guess so. Acting as stork. Damn, I was gonna make a joke that Stork is a better actress than Kristen Stewart.
Wow. Well, don't go there yet. They don't know.
We're not there yet. But yeah, no, I like that scene. Once again, watching the film, I was waiting and anticipating the part that Adam was going to show his hand to be like this asshole who's going to like drive her to be the best bodybuilder she can, or maybe curse her out, yell at her, show himself to be the bad dude. I was waiting for the horns to come out. So when he came to the hospital, I thought that might be the scene when he like pushes her and says, you can get up, you can do this and stuff like that. Yeah. But that didn't happen. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that made me surprised right there. And, I liked how also Edina was like, when can I get out of here? I can't do that. I have to keep on training because I got internationals in a few weeks, stuff like that. So, I like that hospital scene. And I also like how this movie, you can look at it as the story of that athlete that will do whatever to make it, right? I feel like we watched another movie like that before about athletes that, push themselves to their limit. But there's a lot of Black Swan comparisons to this film that people make all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about the hospital scene is that Edina wakes up and gets up from like her bed, and then she sort of like eavesdrops Adam and this nurse, and Adam is like, can I see her? And the nurse is like, the visiting hours is over, and then Adam sort of begs the nurse, saying like, she's all I have, and I'm all she has, so please let me see her.
It's so crazy that Adam is sort of like the nice guy when he looks like a dick.
Yeah, but at that point, I just felt like Edina needed like more than Adam as proof that he loves her for her and not for the sport that she does.
You think that's what she was feeling?
I don't know, because like I said, their relationship is so complex because they're business partners, but he's the boss, and then they're also romantic partners. Yeah. And he's involved in every like limitation of her life.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like make that distinction, and I feel like most women want to be shown that they are loved, and they need that like, verbal and also like physical proof.
I think also maybe she was thinking like, friends don't let friends do drugs. You know what I mean? Like if Adam really loved her, he might say all the right stuff. He might never get mad, never curse her out or anything like that. But Adam, why are you letting us do this? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at this point, if you come and meet me at the hospital, you shouldn't be saying like, how are you doing? And if you do say that, the next words you say are, what are we going to do differently now? Yeah. Not how can we continue? He didn't say how can we continue, but I think maybe Edina was thinking like, he secretly wants this, and I'm going to go along with it.
Yeah.
Because he's not saying, let's stop.
Yeah, because it feels like he was baiting her, He was like, oh, like you will take a break and, everything will be fine. Yeah. You won't get into the gym unless you're feeling good and all that stuff. But like you said, she really knew what he wanted, essentially. Yeah. And like they're in the hospital bed, and he is showing Edina how he won
his
Mr. Olympia or whatever.
Yeah, how he became the biggest, baddest.
Yeah, like, how are you, that's like mind...
It's like when dudes say, come on, let me just put the tip in.
Yeah,
you
don't
like
have mind games.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, I mean...
Stop.
It's like that.
It's definitely mind games.
All right. But, so basically Edina, like you said, is like going out on more dates with Christian, the rich guy who's her sponsor, who's now like her only client. And, she comes home late at night after being with Christian, drops an envelope on the kitchen counter and like licks a plate clean and then goes to sleep next to her boyfriend and stuff like that. But her relationship with Christian is non-sexual. He's just a really goofy, rich guy who likes to sometimes spoil her with certain things. You know what I mean? And so, their relationship gets a bit more serious. There's this like really cool artistic scene when she like, holds him in like a bath of water and stuff like that in this greenhouse. And they have like very, very close romantic moments and stuff like that. Edina is like working out and stuff, but she's not really as into it as much. And you can kind of see in her face she's thinking about Christian more than her competition and her boyfriend, Adam. So what did you think about those things, if anything?
Yeah, I think Christian, for her, symbolized that traditional life that maybe her father wanted, and maybe like what she my desire to a point, you know? Yes, she wants to be Miss Olympia, but she also wants to be a wife and a mother. And yeah, Christian was symbolizing that, and Adam was more like passion, work, and, you know, all these things that she had to do, and Christian didn't care any of that. Yeah. And that was just, I feel like that was just refreshing for Edina. Yeah. And that's why, like, she sort of fell into it. Yeah. I mean, I like the scenes with her and Christian, especially, like, the hiding... You were shipping them. I was shipping them a bit, and I liked their silly, funny banter and stuff like that, and how the scenes were shot. Like, I like her holding him in the water. I like the hide-and-seek scene in the forest. I like them in the hotel being, like, silly kids and bumping uglies and shit like that. Like, they're cute. They're low-key cute. I mean, let's be honest. Christian is, like... I don't know. Is he a bit autistic? I don't know. Like, his fantasies are weird. Like, who wants to go hide and seek in the forest, or who wants to, I don't know, do weird shit like he does? I mean, the things and no king shaming here, but you know, he's a bit weird. It's not like your usual fantasy that she's doing. I mean, the thing is, your fantasies with your mistress are not the same as with your missus. You get what I'm saying? So, like, what Christian is into with Edina might be something he would never do with his wife. You get what I'm saying? But as wives, we want to be that woman who you can fulfill both fantasies with. But y'all can't. But y'all can't. But you won't let us. Like, you won't try us. What do you want? Like, what? You want a thumb in your butt? No, it's not about thumbs in my butt. No, I don't want thumbs in my butt. None of that. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like some dudes would not be comfortable going all out with their girl. Including you know what I mean? You. Yeah, no, including, you know, you can't do certain stuff. See, I can't win because you won't even share it with me. No, it's not about that. It's just like, because it's not a Madonna whore type of thing. It's not like we want you. It's not like we, because, you know, I feel like in our relationship, we get down and dirty sometimes. I feel like it's like we have a healthy relationship sexually and stuff like that. But, like, you know, if, let's say, hypothetically, I wanted to, like, chain you up and, like, really just whoop on you. You know what I mean? Okay. That's wild. I couldn't do that. And then the next day, I'm like, so you want to go get croissants? Like, but that's wild. But the thing is, like, I'm not saying specifically for this, like, fantasy that you just said, which is not even, like, maybe yours. No. Anyway, I might be into that, too, and you will never know unless you share it with me. That's insane. Okay, like, so I'm going to whoop on you. Then what are you going to do? Like, just hold your fantasies until you die? Or one day you're just going to cheat? No, like, because most men can live their lives without having every single sexual fantasy. You got to be a real deviant to want to fuck every way that you ever thought of. That's a wild deviant shit. I mean, you know, you have a wife, so no. You have a place and a person that you can do it with, so why not? No. I mean... No, that's just what I'm saying. Anyway, this is getting out of context. I just think Christian, the part about Christian and them, it was shot really well. It was just a bit like cliche. You know what I mean? Because we've seen other movies where, you know, girl meets rich guy, she falls for the rich guy, and you know, she thinks, oh, I could have a better life with this other dude and stuff like that. Yeah. We watched a Tubi movie a few days ago. Right guy, wrong girl, something like that. Yeah. Sort of had a similar plot, too. And you could see it coming a mile away. Like, Christian did not really want to be with, you know, keep it frank, hard-faced, muscle-bound Edina. And he's, you know what I mean? You were the one who was shipping them. I was shipping them because I thought maybe, you know, European... I saw right through it. I mean, yes, you see right through it, but it's also like they're so cute together, you wish that wouldn't be the case. But you know it's going to be the case. You know what I'm saying? The man got out from a locker. He did. So, yeah, moving forward in the film, right? So, you know, Edina is finally getting, like, all her injections and... Is this the part where she went to yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, Edina is getting all her injections and shots and stuff like that, and she's still training with Adam, and Adam is starting to get a bit more intense about the competitions that's coming. So he's telling her, like, hey, you need to dance more gracefully as they're doing the practice and stuff like that. And so, you know, Edina is trying her hardest, but she can't really do it exactly the way Adam wants her to do. A few scenes later, they end up going to her father's, you know, house
where he was, and she. We see Adam is like arm wrestling people there and like slamming down arms and making friends in the village and stuff. But Edina's father and her are kind of like distant, even though Edina does stuff that a girl could never do, like jump on the pig and, well, not never do, but it's not expected for a girl to do, I assume, in rural Hungary. I'm sure that's a guy thing to jump on the pig and kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Edina and her father obviously have tension, and I assume it's because we see the scene when Edina goes into the closet and pulls out what looks to be a sweater from her mother, puts it on, but her father comes in and says, "That's not yours, take it off," and stuff like that. And so, Edina feels very distant from her family, and she can't even relax while she's there because there's this big Hungarian dinner where they're eating mountains and mountains of food, and Adam judges her by glaring at her when she's like eating a plate, and then she goes and purges in the back. So, what did you think about any of those scenes?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of somewhat explains some things, right? When we find out that Edina's mom is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're probably like a grieving family a little bit. And it's also obvious that, it put a distance between Edina and her dad. And maybe, I assumed, her mom was like somewhat of a traditional female who had a family, had kids, and like even the sweater she puts on, it has like flowers on it and stuff. And it's like there again you see this longing of Edina for like a traditional family, maybe wanting to be like her mom. And then when her dad sees her, it's like him sort of saying, you will never be like your mom because you chose like this life of being a bodybuilder, being masculine, and therefore like you will never be like her. And maybe he's also, like we discussed in the beginning, he's also thinking, oh, she will never have children, maybe, or I don't know, she will never be that traditional daughter. And then with the scene where Adam looks at her and then she goes and purges in the back and doesn't eat her food, it feels really sad because it feels like she's stuck between like these two male characters in her life that make her suffer. And I think that even brings her closer to wanting Christian.
Those two scenes that I brought up when she's in the gym getting judged and also when she's at the family house in the rural part of Hungary. I brought up them because I think that's probably one of the core themes of this film is like the woman's body under the male gaze, right? And especially when this woman isn't a traditional girly girl, right? And so, Edina is trying her best to be as feminine as possible while also competing in what is a traditionally like very, very masculine type of art or performance or sport, whatever you want to call it, right? And so how do you dance more gracefully and more sexy and more woman-like when you're supposed to do this and this? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? And going to the scene when she like jumps on the pig, and stuff like that. Like, how are you supposed to, bond with the father who, for some reason, really dislikes you because you chose to not be the traditional girl, but you're also showing like you're a good daughter, like you're a good child to your father, right? You're participating in the cultural events. You're sitting down at the table. You obviously love, your mother just as much as he does, but there's this bond, there's this break in the bond too. You get what I'm saying? So it's I thought those two scenes really highlight, what Edina's main issue is. Like she's walking this tight rope between womanhood and basically like manhood. A bit, I think you could argue this is kind of like a transgender type of film, even though the film doesn't have a transgender in it. You get what I'm saying? Because she's playing with gender to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the fact that this is what most women and probably men face when they get outside of those like very strict traditional lines of like what the media portrays. Like, it's great when you're only, even if you're a girly girl, it's great when you're only dating dudes. But if you try out something with a girl, then everyone like looks at you different, and now you're like socially and psychologically in stress. And like same with men. Maybe you're a straight man who likes fashion a lot. When you get out of like those normalities that the society puts for you, then you're in psychological distress.
Yeah.
And in Edina's case, it's like multiple things that puts her in that distress.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like stepping outside of what society expects puts you like in the crosshairs of people. Like they want to change you, or they want to ostracize you, or control you. You know what I mean? And that's what Edina was dealing with. You know?
And I mean, socially, we are social creatures, so you do want to fit in. You do want to be loved by your parents, by a partner, and things like that. So you do everything you can to, you know, fit in and be accepted by other people.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, maybe she's struggling to do with.
Yeah. But, moving forward in the story, you know, she comes back from the rural village and, you know, she's still training and exercising and stuff like that. But she meets up with Christian, and her and Christian end up going to this hotel, and they end up spending the whole, you know, night together. You know, they play around, like Christian acts like a monkey, and Edina acts like a cat and starts purring and stuff like that. And they're playing around in the bed and stuff like that under the covers. And eventually they have sex, as we can assume, for the first time, right? And that's when Edina finally reveals to Christian, like, the doctor told me I can't keep doing this or else I'm going to die, right? The next scene, you know, she's taking a shower. She comes out of the shower. Christian's gone. He just leaves like an envelope and a note and a bunch of money for her. And Edina ends up staying at the hotel for like the next few days maybe. And like she's working out, but then like binge eating and stuff like that, and like watching TV and falling asleep on the couch. What do you think of those scenes? Yeah,
I mean, I think because she didn't tell this to anyone until this time. And then the first person she chooses to tell is Christian. So it kind of makes me think, okay, maybe she wants to give up this life that is killing her. You know, this steroid life that's putting poison in her body. And I think she was just looking, wow, okay, Avery. Shout out to Avery. And I think she's just looking for Christian to give her the green light. Okay. And then she's gonna like become a domestic housewife. Okay. And then gonna have kids and gonna give up the title of Miss Olympia and everything. So it was really heartbreaking because at that scene, like they're under the blankets like little kids. And then Edina like holds his hands like over the blankets. Yeah. They're not looking at each other. They can't see each other. And when she says that, Christian, like, you know, takes his hand back. And there, I was like, I knew this motherfucker was, like, so dirty. Because, first of all, even in Animal Kingdom, monkey fucking a cat is, like, wrong. Oh, come on. There was the scene of them pretending to be animals was them showing, like, their true character. Like, Christian wants to be a silly chimpanzee, and she wants to be the cat that wants to purr and be touched and be, like, you know, loved. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you want to do that? Do you want to? No, I don't want to do animal play. That's not me. But I'm saying there's obviously you don't see the interpretation in that scene? Yeah, I guess. Like, it's also their inner childhood or whatever. Like, it's weird. Okay. Anyway, no king shame. Anyway, I was surprised Christian left, honestly, a little bit. Of course you were. I was a bit surprised. I thought the movie was going to go into a different direction. You know what I mean? Like Adam was going to beat up Christian, or Christian was going to kill Adam, something like that. Yeah. Right? But no, he straight up left, and I was like, okay, that was expected. Like I got to bring myself back to reality. I mean, and that's what happened with Edina, because she came face to face with the reality that Christian didn't actually wanted her for her. He only wanted the fantasy of her or her body or whatever, you know, her perception of her. So yeah, and she was like down back where she was with Adam, and really she doesn't have any other choice but to continue training and putting steroids in her butt. Now, you and I are watching this reality show on YouTube called Could Have Been Love by Drewski, right? Yeah. And most of the girls there are like studs, like lesbians who look like men that most men don't want to have sex with, right? Okay.
I'm keeping it real. I'm speaking for the men right here because I'm about to ask you a question about women, right? Like, we should have expected Christian not to like Edina because she's like, basically a muscle woman, right? And that's what most guys don't like. There are some guys who are into that. You get what I'm saying? The question I have for you is like, how do women feel about big muscle guys? Like the bodybuilder type guys, Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Do most women like that? Do they find that attractive?
I don't think I can say like most women like those type of men or don't, because like those type of men are not ostracized in the society as much as muscular women. So it's then completely boils down to what is your personal taste in men.
I know it's about personal taste. Like, there are some girls that will like that and other girls who don't. But generally, most girls don't like really short guys. Like a guy who's 5'4", 150 centimeters.
But why is that? Like, because that's something that's constantly put in the society, and it unconsciously like is in our mind. And I feel like it's the same with muscular girls. Like, even if it were gonna be your personal type, because of all this like constant, pressure coming from the society, you end up like maybe with a skinny girl. I'm
just saying, like, the reason I think a lot of guys wouldn't like a very, very muscular girl is because like a muscular girl looks like all her life is about the gym, and it's less about her, other feminine aspects. You know what I mean? Like, guys like girls that are sporty and athletic. That's why the volleyball girls always go viral. You know what I mean? Like, whenever the Olympics happens, the girls in the booty shorts running the track always go viral.
Yes.
But like, nobody's ever talking about, damn, boy, did you see that girl deadlift 450 kilos? You know what I mean? Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't know, if during the caveman time, there wasn't such thing as being feminine. Like, people chose their partners because they could have given birth, and they were strong. Like, strong men wanted to choose strong women because they were probably like, man, like, this bitch could kill an antelope with her hands, or she could also give birth to 10 children.
And she's also not my sister.
Yeah, well, that's a different topic. But, so these are like societally constructed, and I don't know. If I say it would be just my own take, but I feel like I am like more attracted to, a bit of a dad bod. I don't really like the super muscular Arnold Schwarzenegger type of man because it feels like just too much. Like, it feels like they're gonna strangle me.
But that's what I'm saying. So that was the point of my question. I think most women would agree with you. They prefer dad bod over Schwarzenegger. So yeah, and I was gonna just ask why, and I think
it's similar to what men want. Like, you guys like the volleyball girl look, right? And I think like I want a strong man, like, nice arms. I don't want like, a flabby armed man, but at the same time, I don't need a six pack. It's like the middle ground.
Okay. Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering because, like, in this film,
I need him to be able to like pick me up and throw me around.
Okay.
So no skinny arms.
Okay.
But not like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he would lift me up, like I might end up on the ceiling.
Yeah. I think also men don't like women like Edina because a lot of our masculinity is tied into our strength and muscles too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't want a girl that looks like she could beat you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a part of it too. Yeah. Avery Adams jumps into the comments. He says, I don't want to be more fit than my girl. I don't want to be more fit than my girl. No, I don't know. I kind of disagree. This is what I'm going to scare Avery off again. I disagree. I think you should want to be more fit than your girl.
Why?
Because like if your girl is fit, right? Your girl is fit, but you still want to look good with her. And as a man, naturally, you're going to have more muscle mass than her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Fitness is not just about muscle mass, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like if you're fitter than your girl, then I feel like most men would want to upgrade into a fitter girl.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends.
Like, if you had six packs and all of that, I don't know if you would still want to be with my body type,
No, I would. Because it's not about If
I mean, now maybe yes, because like we've been married. But if we were just dating or something, and there was like a girl with a better body than me that was interested in you, you might go for that.
I don't know. I feel like it depends. I mean, there's a certain type I like. You know what I mean? I like them thick. You know what I mean? I like them thick.
Yeah, but you can be like fitter and thick. Yes, we understand. You like them thick.
I'm sorry. We went totally off on this movie. We're totally off in a different direction. All right. Avery says, we need to be the same is what I mean. I agree. Like, y'all should be equally yoked. Like, y'all should both look generally. I think, not should, because people can look however they want, right? Yeah. But people want to match their partner, right? But some people also say, oh, I want a man that's tall. I want a man with a nice body. And some guys say, I want a girl who's like a certain height and with a certain body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think like those type of, qualities match at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, like, yeah, if you have that many checklists, you're not going to find that person that fits every single check. Yeah. Plus the mental shit also, like, yeah.
Anyway, obviously, Edina did not meet all of Christian's boxes, and she was just a fling. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, Edina is kind of like heartbroken about this. The lady at the hotel says, hey, you've been staying here a while. You didn't pay for this day, so you got to go. And so Edina's like, okay, I'm going to leave. And so they give her the invoice, and on the invoice, there's the address for Christian, the guy that she was sleeping with, but then he left her when he found out she was going to die. She goes to this bitch goes to his house.
I don't know how she got in.
Well, she climbed the fence, remember?
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, she climbed over the fence, and she gets into the house, and like she, starts snooping around and stuff, and she ends up sleeping in the bed. Christian comes home with his wife and his 2 kids. Her son finds her in the bed and says, Daddy, who is this muscle-bound man in bed?
Don't be mean.
You were the one watching the movie and said, Edina's a woman, right? That was you. You did say that. I didn't say that once.
No, I was just like thinking if that's a possibility.
Nah, I knew that was a woman the entire time. You said we were like 30 minutes into.
No, I was like 95% sure that she was a woman. There was just like 5%.
They were like, how are we 30 minutes in this film? And you're like, so she like really like a woman?
Stop it! No, it wasn't like that. You know it.
Anyway, so the wife is like, should we call the police? And Christian is like, no woman. And he like basically like glares at Edina and is like, get out of here, bitch. And so like, she gets up and Edina comes face to face with his wife, and she looks totally different than her, more like traditional woman, right? Copy paste. Mm-hmm. And so Christian just leads her out and closes the gate on her ass.
Without even saying anything.
Yeah, without even saying a word. Any comments on that?
I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she just wanted to like destroy Christian because he left her like that, or maybe she was just curious, because like if you have a man and your man leaves you, you're curious about like what the fuck is he doing now? Like, who is he with or whatever? Yeah. Or if you're a side chick, you will be curious about his main chick and those sorts of things. Yeah. So I thought it was more like curiosity and also closure. I think she wanted to talk with him, like, and ask him why. But definitely didn't get what she expected, I think. Yeah.
As an English teacher here in Hungary, and most of my students are Hungarian, when I saw the scene of like, Christian and Edina doing like weird stuff on the weekend, it made me think about all my students when I asked them, hey, Chaba, how was your weekend? And he's like all the flashbacks in his mind of like him, like, I don't know, being chased through the woods by a muscle-bound woman, getting the shit dunked on by like a bodybuilding bitch. Wow. That bodybuilder waking up in his home in the hills of Buddha. He's like, it was fine. Like he just, so I really liked, seeing that side of like Christian and stuff like that, because number one, his house is immaculate. Like, those houses on the rich side of town are just really dope, like in the hills and stuff like that. Yeah. But, she should have known better. Like, obviously, Christian, had a wife and kids, and like he's.
I mean, I think she knew.
Yeah.
I think she still went for it though.
Yeah, that's why she only did that because she knew she could beat up anybody that came in the house. That's why she did that. She knew if like Christian wanted to get buck at me, I could like break his arm like this.
Yeah. Christian's a small dude.
I thought the film would have been interesting if Edina saw Christian's wife and did like what. What, bitch? What you want to do?
Maybe she's not that type of person, though.
Yeah.
Like, we never see her fighting.
But what else? No, there's really not that much to say about that scene. Edina ends up going home, and she, like, collapses into the arms of Adam, who, like, just, you don't know what he's thinking because he hadn't seen her in a few days. But he, like, accepts her, brings her in, takes care of her. And, like, they're getting ready for the competition. And so, yeah, what did you think about the reunification of Adam and Edina at that point?
Yeah, I think, like, once again, I know she fainted, but I would like to hear what kind of conversation they would have. Like, is he not going to ask her, where have you been? Who have you been with? Like, what are you doing? And stuff like that. Not even, like, I'm saying he's suspicious of anything. He might not be, but yeah, like if you come home like 3 days after not being home and then just faint as soon as I see you, like we're having a discussion, mister.
No, that's wild.
Like so I wish we had that context there.
Yeah, no, once again, I think that goes to show what the film is trying to say. It's like, love looks differently to people, but I think what the movie is trying to say through Adam's mistake is that he didn't show he cared enough, right? He showed he cared, but not enough, because he accepted Edina every time she came back, but he never got it right. He never laid down the law as a man and said, look, we're going to make some changes around here. You know what I mean? The only time he ever put his foot down is like when he discovered Edina's sexy pictures and says like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Stop doing this. And then carried on about his business. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. I feel like the film is saying like, you have to love something, but love it up to a point. Yeah. You know what I mean? And especially how the film ends. Like they both love bodybuilding, but what do you do about your love when it's not working? You know what I mean? Yeah. But go ahead.
I mean, there were some scenes, I think it was before, like, they went to the competition where, Adam made a nice gesture after he found the pictures of Edina. He, like, the next week or something, he got all the supplies. And then he, like, also danced with her in the room with music and stuff like that. Like, he was being romantic. Yeah. But I think also one of the things Edina might wanted was marriage with Adam. Like, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they're not married. And even though Adam loves her so much, why isn't he proposing to her?
Yeah, that's another thing.
So,
maybe it's a money thing too. I mean, they put all their money into working out, bodybuilding, permanent lifetime gym memberships, enough steroids to last them 3 20-year life sentences.
Wow. I mean, it's a question. I don't know if it's a money thing because you can just get married in court without spending that much money.
That's true. I don't know. We don't really know how they met. That's never explained. We don't, like, what if Edina's, a divorcee? What if Adam, is scared of getting married? Like, that's not really spoken about.
I mean, Adam had a wife.
Ex-wife, yeah.
Ex-wife.
And I believe also she had, like, kids with Adam, too.
I don't know. She was pregnant when we saw her, but we don't know if it's Adam's kid.
Yeah, I don't think that was Adam's kid. That's her new husband's kid, right? But she did mention, like, your son's birthday or something like that. I think so. I
mean, maybe they had an affair, and that's why Adam, like, broke up with her, with his wife.
But
so we don't really know.
Maybe he cheated on his wife with Edina.
Yeah.
Maybe. But anyway, moving on to basically the end of the story. And this film is short. It's only about 1 hour and 30 minutes long. Edina is going to like the international competition. She's been working out hard and stuff like that. She's been cutting down on food and she's dehydrated for the competition. And she's like really fucking sick. Like she was like working out at the beginning, but then like she passes out at the competition. And she was also like putting a bunch of steroids in herself too to get ready. And so, yeah. We see the other people about to go on stage, and as soon as Edina's name is called, we see Adam like lay her down on the ground because she passed out. And when she awakes, Adam says, like, you can't go on stage, you know what I'm saying? Like, the ambulance is coming for you soon. Besides, they already saw the needle marks in you, so you've been disqualified. You can't go anyway. But Edina's like, no, I'm going to go regardless, right? And so when Adam turns his back, Edina gets up. She goes to the stage, and, Adam is trying to stop her, but he can't get past the security guard. Edina does, like, her last poses on stage, and the crowd is going wild. And when she hits this one striking pose, she, like, falls down. And we don't know if she dies, but the scene goes black, and that's the end of the movie. So what did you think of that scene and the whole finishing of this movie?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely Black Swan-ish. Because, like, that's the last scene where she's performing, and that's where she dies or gets really hurt. I don't know. But I think, I don't know. I feel like after everything that happened with Christian, Edina also sort of lost hope on Adam that he will ever wife her or, like, whatever.
Get her out of the life.
Yeah, or get her out of the life. But I think she just wanted to do this for herself this time. And that's why, like, when Adam was trying to chase her down to get her to the hospital, Edina told the security guard, I don't know this man. And,
I mean, there's layers to that. I don't know this man. You know what I mean? Like, all he's ever taught me is how to lift weights, how to eat right, how to fucking put steroids in my ass. Maybe he never showed me love, another side of him. Yeah. He's all about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I don't know. It felt to me like it was somewhat of her showing Adam, like, this is what you want, this is what you're getting, and you're going to lose me eternally. And then also for herself, it meant that, okay, if this is my life, then I'm accepting it, and I'm going to go all the way, and I'm going to get this title.
Yeah.
So it was also proving herself that she, at least because she lost all the traditional things that a woman should have, like kids, like a love of a father, and a traditional lover, girlfriend, boyfriend, everything she lost because of this, I think she was like, I lost everything, so I might as well do it, and I have to be great at it. I just felt like those were the things that just sort of drove her into that stage. And it was very, like, dramatic, and I liked the ending. And it was, like, similar to the beginning. It's like where we begin, where we end. Yeah,
it's very circular. You know, the film opens and closes how, it's very similarly. I thought it maybe was a bit, once again, this film is not revolutionary. It's not, eye-popping, but it is done well. It's executed well. I like the ending as well. And yeah, there's a lot of parts of this film that make me think about other sports movies where it's like the boxer, the quarterback, the basketball player gives it all they got on the field. And because this is like a sort of artistic sport, like ballet to some degree, it does have echoes of Black Swan in it. Though Black Swan is a bit more horror-esque, this is very dramatic, and it's supposed to be a tearjerker. You know what I'm saying? So I like the ending. And as far as like what happened to Adam, at that point when Edina turns away and says, I don't know this man, it made me realize, Adam actually was kind of the good guy in this film. We understood him to be the villain because he's like very masculine coded, very toxic man coded. You know what I mean? Big muscle neck guy, training this girl, telling her what to eat, telling her how to live, you know what I mean? But in his heart, he loved her, but he lost her because he put the sport above everything. Yeah. And also brought her along into that mentality too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and maybe because that's what it was for him as well when he was doing the sport. And he just sort of didn't think what Edina would want as a woman, but he only thought of her wants and needs as a sportswoman.
Yeah. There was that scene when Adam is talking about when he won the trophy for like Mr. Olympia or something like that. Yeah. And, when he won it, he felt like he was the king of the world. And when he was driving home with the trophy, he pulls over, looks in the trunk just to check like, holy shit, I actually did this. I'm the best in the world about something, right? And I don't think he ever got over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he probably feels robbed that he couldn't continue his career because of the accident he had. And so he looks at Edina as like his second life. You know what I'm saying? His second chance of doing this. And Edina was like, came to realize, like, to all these men, I'm just something to project on their own fantasies and wishes and desires. And I haven't truly been myself. So kind of femi-pessimist in a way. Kind of femi-pessimist because she ends up saying, fuck it, I'd rather die than live with these men.
Yeah. I mean, I can sympathize with Adam, and I think the movie does that as well. Is because this is such a sport that takes over your life, and imagine yourself like just working towards this one thing that's in every aspect of your life for, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years or so, and then gaining the best title you can ever get. And then where do you go from there?
Yeah.
You know, like if you're the world champion, where do you go if you don't have, if that's all you've known to do? And
it's something you can't do forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then like you can turn to training and teaching others. Yeah. But then
you can only do that so long. You're going to be the old man. You can't.
You're going to be ending up living vicariously through them.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to him. Yeah. And it's like I can't blame him for doing that.
Yeah. So, basically we ran through the story. Overall, once again, not a, reinvention of the wheel, but a crafting of the wheel that was done very well. And as our introduction to Hungarian cinema, I was very impressed. They got a lot of things right. A lot of it echoes other things I've seen in other European films. Like, we've watched some films from France that have a lot of similarities to this. Like there was a Finnish film that we watched about like a dominatrix. That had some similarities to this as far as style and stuff like that. But overall, as a production, it was acted very well. Cinematography was good. Music was good. There's like this little Hungarian, trance song they play that I kind of like. So yeah, overall, a really cool film. And I would recommend it. And so I'm going to give it a solid 7. I give it a solid 7. What's your score?
Yeah. I enjoyed it well, too. I agree with everything you said. In addition, I also liked some of the cinematography in this. It is like mostly a dark movie. Like it does have a dark color schema. And there were like the shots of Edina's like close-ups of her body where you could see her freckles and her imperfections. And I thought those were just very sincere shots. And then like there was that scene where they shot it like, I don't know, from like the wide angle of the house where you can see 2 rooms. And in one room, like, Adam is shaving. And in the other room, Edina is like
on the phone.
Yeah, on the phone with Christian. Yeah. And that was like so cool to see.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. And he's flexing in the mirror and stuff
too.
Like
he's so like, into the body he has, and she is chasing tail.
That's a metaphor. I mean, that sums up parts of the film's story is that, Adam is so blind to the body, his body and Edina's body. He's blind to the fact that Edina has other needs. She's like talking to this other guy on the phone,
Yeah. So I really like those like cinematography moments in this movie. I think my overall score is gonna be like a 7.
Yeah, you give it a 7 too.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we'll wrap it up here. This is our first attempt at live streaming. While doing these movie reviews. We're going to post it up the traditional way, so catch it on Spotify, Cinema Crossroads. I'll also post it on my channel with the recording as well. So for anybody that didn't catch the live stream, it's okay. And I'm also testing this out to see if like YouTube will allow us to like have the film playing in the back so y'all can get a chance of like seeing what the movie is kind of like without, having to watch it yourself, because we review a lot of films. And sometimes people haven't heard of them because like they're coming from all over the world. And but we want to show you what it's like and what we're talking about around us to give you just a feel of the film. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I really got to say. Any other last comments?
No.
All right. Yeah. Also subscribe to Backpack Bandits, our travel channel as well. And stay tuned for the book react series. We're wrapping up our book, Slave Breeding, American Memory. As well, and we got some more books coming soon on this channel. Subscribe to Culturalist Theory. I got I basically took over that channel, man. I'm the hardest working man on YouTube who is not famous. I run my channel. I'm secretly running another channel. So go check out the videos I wrote for Trick Daddy and Trina. I believe we got Tamar Braxton coming soon. I'm working on the 2 short list. I got Bun B and Pimp C done for Culturalist Theory. So there's a lot. There's a lot.
Also check out Lenny Kravitz and Culturalist Theory.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great video.
Lenny Kravitz.
Great writing by Simon.
Yes, Lenny Kravitz, Queen Latifah. I put in a lot of work with the pen on the typewriter and stuff like that to get those lists done. So yeah, we're running hard on this channel, Backpack Bandits, Culturalist Theory. Go support all the creations that we're making over here. Some shit works, some shit doesn't, but we're just testing it out.
Yeah.
Testing it out.
And like join the conversations, you know? Yeah. Tell us what you think. Even if you don't see the movie, or if you didn't see the movie, like we're talking about the general themes. So tell us what you think about it. Yeah,
because we try to, not analyze films. We try to analyze these films, not just, hey, it's good or it's bad. Like we talk about what the story is trying to tell us, right? And these are human things that we can make larger conversations out of. You know what I mean? And anybody can jump in. So, yeah. So shout out to Avery Adams. He said W stream. We're glad you think so. Shout out to Chris. He said check out The Expanse. We'll probably check that out as well. Shout out Crypto Hunter King and M Ocean. Y'all be easy out there, and peace.